I married him because he made the world feel safe again. He was steady, grounded, the kind of man who never raised his voice or lost control. After years of chaos, that stability felt like peace. I told myself this was what love was supposed to look like: quiet, calm, predictable. For a while it was comforting. But as the years passed, that calmness turned into distance. Conversations faded into logistics. Touch became routine, then rare, then absent. The silence between us wasn't angry. It was empty. I used to stare at him across the dinner table, wondering when the man who once reached for my hand had vanished. I had everything a woman was told to want: a good home, a respectable husband, a stable life, and yet I felt invisible. I envied the smallest gestures I saw in others: a shared laugh, a kiss in passing, the warmth of being seen. Inside my own marriage, I had become a shadow. When his son moved in after a difficult breakup, I prepared myself for tension. But instead he brought something unexpected: gentleness. He was thoughtful, quiet, the kind of person who noticed things. He'd ask how my day was and actually listen. It was nothing more than kindness, but it woke something in me I'd long buried. It started innocently. Shared dinners, brief conversations that stretched late into the night, a laugh over leftovers that felt freer than it should have. When he told me, "You should smile more, it suits you," it felt like sunlight breaking through years of fog. It wasn't desire, not yet. It was the rare, dizzying relief of being noticed. Then came the night everything shifted. My husband was away on a trip. The house was still, the kind of silence that hums in your ears. I was heading to the kitchen when I heard a sound. Soft, rhythmic, unfamiliar. I followed it before my mind could stop me. The door to his room was slightly open. I shouldn't have looked, but I did. For a heartbeat too long, he was there, lost in a private moment, unaware. A woman's voice echoed faintly from his phone, breathless, intimate. My breath caught, shame flooding me. I turned away, but the image stayed. Not because of what he was doing, but because of what it stirred inside me. Something raw, forbidden, alive. The next morning I avoided him. But it didn't matter. That line, invisible before, had already been crossed. The more I tried to forget, the more aware I became. The smell of his cologne, the warmth in his voice, the way his eyes lingered on mine just a second too long. I started wearing perfume again, brushing my hair differently, telling myself it was for me, but it wasn't. We never spoke of that night, yet everything between us changed. The silence grew heavy, charged, until one evening it finally broke. My husband had left after another pointless argument, leaving me drained and alone. I sat on the couch, wine glass trembling in my hand, when his son came home. He saw me, hesitated, then sat down beside me. He didn't speak for a while. Then quietly he said, "You saw me that night, didn't you?" I couldn't answer. I didn't need to. The air between us already did. There was no judgment in his eyes, no shame, just something painfully human. When his hand brushed mine, it felt like the first real touch I'd had in years. I whispered that it was wrong. He nodded. But neither of us moved away. It wasn't planned. It wasn't passion in the usual sense. It was need. Two people drowning in loneliness, reaching for air in the same dark place. When it was over, silence filled the room again, heavier than before. I looked at him and saw the confusion I felt mirrored in his face. I walked away without a word, unable to face what I had done, or who I had become. But that night, staring into the mirror, guilt wasn't what I saw first. It was relief. Terrible, beautiful relief, like taking a breath after years of holding it in. The next morning, everything felt disturbingly normal. Coffee, sunlight, the faint sound of him moving in the other room. We didn't talk about it, we just carried on. Days passed. Then weeks. He grew distant, quieter. One morning he told me he was moving back to his mother's. I didn't stop him. I just nodded, pretending that was what I wanted too. Before leaving, he paused at the door, looked at me with a strange tenderness and said, "Take care of yourself." Then he was gone. Now the house feels too big, too quiet. I go through the motions, smile when expected, speak when necessary, but inside something has fractured. I keep wondering if what I did was born from loneliness, or if, for one fleeting moment, I simply chose truth over emptiness. I broke something, my marriage, my image, maybe even my soul. And yet, somewhere in that ruin, part of me still whispers that for the first time in years, I felt alive.